You're watching Nissan SportsBeat. Nissan, innovation that excites.
Good night, everybody, and welcome to the Be Glad to have you aboard. Rod here, Jeremiah right there. Second weekend of the NFL preseason, and Jeremiah, rematch of Super Bowl 45 4 years ago. Steelers and the Packers. First drive of the game. Oh, bad news for the Pack. Number one receiver Jordy Nelson, not hit, just hits the turf. They believe it's a torn ACL, and he will be done for the year. Later in that drive, Eddie Lacy doesn't get touched. Touchdown. Steelers defense, though, would get on the board first for them. The old guy, James Harrison, comes around, takes down Aaron Rodgers for the safety. Steelers down 19-18, 4.5 minutes left. Landry Jones, Shaquem Phillips. 20 yards. Steelers win, but they also lose starting center Marquise Pouncey. He may need ankle surgery.
It was a good week for locals in the NFL. Both stars and undrafted free agents trying to make a team. Alex Smith had a touchdown pass and the Chiefs win over the Seahawks, but this wasn't it. Bobby Wagner picks off Alex and takes it back to the house. Apparently, Bobby told Alex before the game that he was going to do this. Bobby worth every penny. Former BYU safety Daniel Sorensen working hard trying to keep his roster spot in Kansas City. That will certainly help. He brings the heat on the safety blitz. His first professional sack. Kyle Van Noy has been shut down. He's got some injury issues, but he was able to deliver this decleater on special teams. Kyle is very strong. Hey, remember Corbin Laux, the former Utah quarterback that played a key role for the Ute offense in 2008? Well, he still hasn't given up on his NFL dream, trying to make the Denver Broncos roster. He caught the game-winning touchdown pass on Saturday night. Laux now a receiver and a return man. Former Ute Joe Kruger's in the two deep for the Steelers. He had a tackle today, as did former Aggie Tay Glover Wright with the Packers. Both guys trying to make that Steelers roster. And as you know, Rod, there's a lot of depth on that roster, so it's going to be tough. But making their case there. According to Dolphins beat reporters, former Aggie Zach Vigil is almost a lock to make the Dolphins' 53-man roster. Impressive for an undrafted free agent. Zach has separated himself with his work ethic, aggressive play, and one other impressive asset.
Probably my horrible hair.
What's the deal, bro?
I don't know. I figured I was going to grow it out. This is the longest I've ever had. I've never grown it out before, but I don't know. It's pretty humid out here, so it's pretty warm.
What made you decide to grow it out?
I don't know. I was just driving with my brother one day. I was like, hey, I'm going to grow my hair out. He's like, all right. So I did.
Well, former BYU quarterback Steve Sarkisian has gotten himself in a little hot water now as head coach of the USC Trojans. Sark appeared to be intoxicated at a USC event where he insulted other football programs and used foul language.
Get ready to fight on, baby. Let's go!
Yeah, Sarkisian then released this statement after a meeting with his athletic director, Pat Hayden. I sincerely apologize to my players and staff and to our fans for my behavior and my inappropriate language at our kickoff event on Saturday night. I have a responsibility to all of them, and I let them down. Pat Hayden talked to me after the event about my actions, and I assured him this will never happen again. Sark, of course, played for the Cougars in 1995 and 96. He was head coach at Washington for 5 years. This is his second season at USC. All right, BYU held its second scrimmage of fall camp yesterday morning. The major improvement, the big play, both through the air and on the ground, not just once, but a number of times.
Nice to see a couple big plays today. So there was a short yardage run that went the distance, and then a big play to Nick Kurtz. And so that was something that didn't happen in the first scrimmage. So we added a touch of big play potential.
We're kind of a big play offense, right? And to be able to do that consistently is where I've seen a big improvement. And then not just kind of one-hit wonders, right, where we have a big play and then we don't finish the drive. We've done a good job of continuing to build on what we did last year on that aspect.
It feels good, you know, and especially on my part, you know, it's been a while since I've been running it, and it's going to be nice to get more carries this season. More carries I get, you know, more chances I have to show my talent.
Our offense looked better throwing and catching the football in general, especially on early downs.
Well, fall camp is now over for the Utes. Monday preparation begins for the season opener against Michigan. which is now just 11 days away. The Utes got 20 practices in camp. Position battles pretty much settled right now. Coach Whittingham was very happy about the health of his team coming out of camp, saying it's the healthiest they've ever been at this point. Last year, they opened with Idaho State. A much different opponent will be at Rice-Eccles Stadium on September 3rd, and there's no need to remind the players.
We've been pointing to this game since the gun went off at the bowl game. And that's one thing about opening with a game like this is it gets your players' attention, all of their attention immediately. And that's been the focal point for 8 months now. You play to whatever your schedule dictates, and it's not like, you know, if we opened up with a lesser opponent, we would just ignore them. But you play a high-profile opponent, it definitely gets your players' attention.
Well, due to the uncertain status of starting cornerback Dominique Hatfield, the Utah secondary was a question mark heading into fall camp. JUCO transfer Corey Butler-Bird has been the answer. The Compton, California native has been a star in camp, and for him and the Utes, it was worth the wait.
Kid that has unbelievable instincts and a lot of natural raw ability. I love his intensity, plays with a lot of passion, and he's starting to really understand the defense.
You can witness that passion in practice. Corey Butler-Bird plays the game with a chip on his shoulder. He doesn't take this opportunity for granted. After 2 years worth of credits in 1 year at junior college just to get eligible, every moment on the field is a reward.
The reward really is to be able to just focus on football. Like when I was out there, I was focusing on more than just football in school. It was out of school and off the field issues that I had to deal with, dealing with the society that I lived in and the hardship of my financial standing was horrible.
Corey has finally been able to focus on football. He was first on the depth chart at slot receiver earlier in camp, but the decision was made to move him to corner.
I knew that he had offensive ability because I saw that for the last few years when I recruited him. I also knew that he could play defense.
With Dominique Hatfield out, Corey can be that shutdown corner the Utes desperately need.
In his absence right now, to have Corey has been instrumental. Just to have another playmaker, somebody with the speed and quickness that you look for in a cornerback position to defend the receivers that we have to play every single week.
Very important to our success as a defense. We play a lot of man coverage. You got to be able to hold up on the outside, and he has been a nice addition. He makes us better. There's no question about that.
Switching here, it really wasn't that much of a difference because my whole life I played everything. So it just went from, okay, I'm not playing that, now I'm playing this. So.
His dream is to play in the NFL, but he isn't driven by fame and fortune.
Like, I feel like right now I don't have a voice. I do, I mean, you know, with the people around me, but I feel like if I made it to the NFL and I actually got the money to actually make a change, I feel like I can make the world a better place.
His focus now is on making Utah a better team and beating Michigan in the season opener.
It's going to be crazy. I know the environment is going to be ridiculous. Pretty much going to come in and make a lot of noise. Not just in the Pac-12, I feel like we're going to make a lot of noise nationally. Well, Utah State Aggies completed their third and final scrimmage of fall camp on Saturday. Head coach Matt Wells seemed pleased with his team's progress at this point in camp.
Some good stuff early on by the offense. Not a lot of touchdowns at the end, just probably because of how we were playing it from a thud standpoint, not a live standpoint, but some good execution. Again, playing a lot of young kids because we just holding some guys out precautionary from injuries. So because some good holes, I thought the O-line covered some guys up early on and moved their feet. Again, it's hard to tell. You know, sometimes you got to arm tackle this and you're grabbing this, and kind of it is what it is sometimes. Look forward to getting into next week. We've got a few more days of training camp, and then we'll start Southern Utah prep.
All right, meanwhile, final round of the Siegfried Jensen Utah Open at Riverside Country Club in Provo. Let's go back to July. Jordan Rogers won the Utah State Amateur at Soldier Hollow. He then turned pro, and today he had a chance to become the first golfer in 81 years to win both the Utah State Amateur and the Utah Open in the same year. Rogers had a one-shot lead on the par 4 14th. This is an eagle chip, and it is tracking right to the hole. So Jordan Rogers, 21 under, has a 2-shot lead over Nathan Lashley with 4 to play. Next hole, par 5 15th, Lashley. The eagle putt from off the green, 3 feet away, tapped in for birdie to get to within 1. Next hole, par 4 16th, Lashley. 45-footer for birdie to tie. It drops, and Rogers would have this 10-footer for birdie to get the lead back. But he cannot do it, so we go to the 17th, all even. Lashley again has another long putt for birdie. This one, a 35-footer. And that drops in. Another one. Lashley, 3 straight birdies, leads by 1, heading to the final hole. But he misses the 18th green, has a delicate chip to get up and down to save par. Almost goes in. Lashley finishes at 22 under, so Rogers needs to make this 50-footer for birdie to force a playoff. Oh, and it slides by. Rogers would 3-putt the hole for his only bogey of the day. Nathan Lashley, the 2009 champ, wins the Siegfried and Jensen Utah Open for the 2nd time.
It was just wild. I was just, trying to hit a good putt over those on 16, 17, really just get it close, and they happened to go in, and just got a little lucky. So got to use some of that sometimes to win, though.
All 3 of us we played great. It was a bunch of birdies, and I just didn't get it done today. That's really it.
Great finishing holes, though. All right, coming up in a few minutes on KSL Golf, we will announce the winner of our grand prize, free unlimited golf for 1 year, and also a Nike driver.
Really all a pattern is the grass bending over different directions.
And we'll also take you to the diamond at Smith's Ballpark for the creative grass work over there. Well, if the coaching gig doesn't work out at BYU, he still has another skill. That's all coming up when the beat rolls on.
The Murdoch Automotive No Regrets Play of the Game.
American Justin Gatlin has been dominating in the 100-meter, 28 straight unbeaten streak, but the king of speed, Usain Bolt, returned to the top of the podium, narrowly beating Gatlin at the line with a time of 9.791, 100th of a second faster than Gatlin, more than 2/10 off his world record time, but he still remains the fastest man in the world.
You're watching Nissan SportsBeat. Nissan, innovation that excites.
Okay, the beat rolls on, Jeremiah. Let's take a trip over to Smith's Ballpark, shall we?
I'll take you out to the ball game.
All right.
How about it? Let's go. The Salt Lake Bees have just 15 games left this season. Now, while the team has struggled on the field they play on is recognized as one of the best in baseball. Here's why. The scenic backdrop, combined with the work like this by the Bees grounds crew, really sets the field apart. Now, if you've ever wondered how they make designs in the grass like this one, on Pioneer Day, well, I went to the ballpark and I found out.
We're like umpires. We don't want to be noticed. If no one's saying anything about us, then we know we're doing our job. Really all a pattern is the grass bending over different directions. So when the sun reflects off of it, you get the different shades of green. And we have special mowers that on the back of every reel is a roller. So as we're mowing, it's actually bending the grass over. And that's how you get the pattern effect. I've been doing this for 11 years, and for the most part, the pattern serves a purpose where you don't want the ball rolling a different direction. You don't want it to take too much time. You don't want to hurt the grass. There's the basics that everyone's probably seen, the checkerboard, diamonds, home center. You can start changing things up by doing single wide or double wides. You get big checkerboards or big diamonds. But mostly comes down to, whatever you feel like doing and how much time you have and what shape the grass is in. The baseball, it literally takes 10 minutes to do. Cat out of the bag, it's very easy, but it looks really cool. When we have the time and the grass is healthy enough, you can do a bunch of different patterns in it that, fans can walk through the door and get a different experience.
The Super Sub of the Week is brought to you by Subway.
All right, Lone Peak star Frank Jackson at the Under Armour Elite 24 camp in New York yesterday. Jackson was the guy that everybody's talking about as he did it all. 360 slams, he had threes, driving to the bucket. Frank had 17 points. He was named one of 4 MVPs out of the top 24 high school players in the nation. Frank will be visiting Duke this coming week.
On-demand video of the week, sponsored by Xfinity from Comcast.
All right, let's start with this. BYU receiver Ricky Shumway. The no-look catch over the shoulder. They call him Shumdog Millionaire, and he has been one of the surprises of fall camp for the Cougars. Of course, Rod, we remember him really well from Timpview High School. He made plays like this all the time. Didn't get any scholarship offers, walking on at BYU, now back from a mission. And the Timpview High star continues to make plays at wide receiver. He's climbing up the depth chart for the Cougars.
They got a bunch of receivers there that can grab it.
They really do. Great moment in the Little League World Series. Pennsylvania already up 14-0 when Cole Wagner crushes this pitch for a grand slam. But it's his reaction that makes this a memorable moment. McKee Gerard says, holy crap, even he's impressed with what he hit there. And you have to love the honest reaction from Mackay.
All right, another one. Brighton Bengals receiver Simi Fehoko in the corner of the end zone, up and over. Jeremiah hangs on to that thing.
Wow.
Now, that's why a bunch of college coaches wanted him to play for them.
And Stanford's getting him.
Stanford got him, but that's pretty incredible. Not only does he jump over the receivers, but he hangs on when that thing is in between his hands and the helmet and the shoulder pad.
Terrific coverage.
Yeah,
he goes up in double coverage.
Jump ball
look at the hands.
In the corner.
Unbelievable.
All right, how about this? BYU offensive coordinator Robert and I doing a fire dance in front of his players. Cougar receiver Micah Simon taking this video at a team gathering. Okay, so you know what? That's pretty impressive. And they also had some of the players trying without the fire and trying to turn it. They had no chance.
I'm dying to know how he got so good at that. Because that's really, really good.
Yeah. Impressive, like we said in the tease.
And he didn't get burned. That's great news, too.
He's got a job.
Nobody died while making that film.
Good thing for that. Hey, the high school football season kicked off this past week. Don't miss our coverage on Game Night Live every Friday at 6:30 at a different high school, and then our half-hour highlight show Saturday at 6 o'clock.
You know, Rod, my favorite part of the show on Game Night Live is the highlight reel at the end. Now, I'm excited because you know we'll see more Simi Fehoko and that great catch again, but there's plenty more to show you. That wasn't the only great play in week one. We guarantee this will give you goosebumps or your money back. Sit back and enjoy this week's highlight reel.
All right, we have 13 more weeks of them. Hey, the PGA Tour, of course, seems to have turned into a young man's game, but at the Wyndham Championship this weekend, some old names surfaced. How about Tiger Woods? He had a chance to win for the first time in over 2 years and also qualify for the FedEx Cup playoffs next week. He was 2 off the lead at the Wyndham Championship. Tiger's playing partner, Scott Brown, par 3, third, 162-yard bingo. Hole in one for Tiger. Not as much fun on 11. Rips the chip all the way across the green and in front of the spectators. Triple bogey. He was 4 shots back of the cheek there. The final golf show of the summer.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, someone's going to hear their name called for free unlimited golf.
Well, now we're happy.
For an entire year, of course.
That makes us feel better.
Coming out here golfing, oh man, no people around. You don't have to worry.
And, of course, a final tribute to our veterans and how golf helps them cope with the trauma of war. in our Game of Honor feature. KSL Golf, the final show, is coming up next.
I'm doing better than I thought I would.